Cheers. Hello, welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures, and hopefully the wind keeps down. It's very, very windy down here today. But the news is I've finally dug up all my potatoes, and well, most of them are here in this sack. There's some good sized potatoes. I'm really, really pleased. It's very nice. In this one here was a little experiment, and well, look, I have some beautiful new potatoes. Aren't they nice? There's only two plants in here, two potato bulbs or tubers, and well, I've not really watered them, I've not kept up, I've not earthed them up. There's just enough, and well, next year I've decided that my potatoes, I think, are all going to be grown in bags, because per square, well, bag, let's say, I think I've got the same amount of potatoes out of a bag from a plant than I have in the soil. So these are easily managed. And so I think I'm going to invest next year in a couple more of these. Luckily I've got 4 already, so I can probably add another couple and get my potatoes in there, because they're manageable then. The problem I find with potatoes is they do take up an awful lot of space, and for sometimes very little rewards individually on some of the plants. But I'm happy overall. I've been using them already. We've had them several times this week. I've made chips out of them. We've had potato slices. We've had mashed potato. And these are all rounders. As I said, this particular make is Albert Roosters. And I really, really love using those. And of course, growing them. Well, it's been marvellous this morning. I'm exhausted. It's funny enough, I'm glad I'm not part of a gym, because digging potatoes up and moving the soil around is gym enough for me. I'm absolutely shattered. Hello. And welcome inside the growing frame, and I'm hoping the structure here will keep the wind off me, because it's got back up even though the sun's coming out. It is rather lovely out here. Well, I have my beetroots here and my turnips, purple-headed turnips here, which are going to go into where the potatoes were, and it's lovely fine soil in here, which would be lovely for the roots, although these two do tend to grow on the surface, so it'll take the nutrients. The problem with fine soil is it sounds really good, doesn't it? Oh, I've got beautifully fine soil. The problem is when it comes to heavy rain, because what can happen is it can compact together lower down into the ground and become a little bit like concrete, and nothing gets through it, because it just pulls it together and creates, well, slabs underground, and you don't want that. So it's best to have, well, sort of semi-bulky soil. It's nice on the surface a little bit, but not deep down, because the roots won't be able to penetrate that concrete-like soil when the rains have been. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it in here. Right, before I get planting, let's head off down to see Sarah. Now, Sarah sent me this amazing picture. And look at all the fruits that you've got there, Sarah. I love the rhubarb, by the way. That's fantastic. I think you've got red currants from what I can see. Gooseberries are definitely there. Strawberries. I think they're red currants as well. And I think I can see some blueberries. And are there red berries below it? But what a fantastic selection. Although you do say that, unfortunately, and I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend now, you did have COVID, and that stopped you going down when you needed to harvest properly. And so you've done really well to rescue the stuff you've got there. So Sarah, thank you very much for sending that picture in. It's fantastic. I've not grown much fruit this year. In fact, I've grown hardly any. My plants haven't come up. My gooseberry bush didn't produce any gooseberries, but that's not surprising, because I moved it this year early on. Do you remember? It was over here and it's now behind me here. At the moment, it's with what I call my wildlife area. I've got a little area where I allow the weeds to grow, especially nettles, because they do attract beneficial insects into the gardens, and so I allow an area to go. That's going to get cleared up in winter, and that will allow the gooseberry bush, hopefully next year, fingers crossed, to well, join the others here in producing lovely berries. Thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Once again, thanks ever so much for all the photographs you're sending in and all the lovely comments we receive. I'm going to put my potatoes now into storage. They're going in my shed. It's very airy, it's dark. It's going to go into a Hessian sack, and I can just pick them when I need to use them over the next couple of months. We'll see you again very shortly here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Ta-ra for now.